Hiya, welcome to my channel, A Busy Retirement with me, Georgie. This is my first YouTube project, and the first project I'm going to show you from the garden is this swan pot. This was given to me by a friend who moved from Perth to Melbourne. Couldn't take it on the flight with her. But it needed a bit of refurbishing. As you can see, I'm doing my patio and outdoor area in the black and cream colours. So I thought we'll have a nice black swan. The black swan is native to Western Australia, so it made sense. Let's give him a coat of paint. With my paints, there are various shops I can go to get them. Bunnings, which is our home improvement, I suppose you'd call it, tool shop, DIY shop. The equivalent in the UK I think would be B&Q or Homebase, and in Canada and the US it would be Home Depot or maybe Lowe's. The craft store we have here, the major craft store, is Spotlight, although they don't have a great range in there. We do have to travel to a few different shops. My next favourite shop is Red Dot, which started off as a small shop and has now grown, has a lot more products. And I think the equivalents would be, Red Dot equivalents in the UK would be Poundland, and in the US and Canada would be Dollar Tree. And I did forget to say, with Spotlight, the largest shop, you're looking at specialty shops with Spotlight, so they're a little bit more expensive. It would be Michael's or Hobby Lobby in the US and Canada, and in the UK, Hobbycraft. Okay, so on with the swan. First off, it got a coat of, these are all acrylic paints I've been using. First off was the black acrylic from Bunnings. That was $6 a pot, so I bought 6 at that price. Great for large projects. At least you can fit a big brush inside the pot. Or it's so watery, you can actually, I'll give it a shake to make sure it's all shook up. You can pour it into a paint tray and use a roller. As you can see, it is, and I'm trying to do this so I don't splash everywhere, it's very runny, very watery, and it will run. I don't know if you can see that running down the plate. But for $6 you can afford to go crazy, use a couple of pots on one project if you've got a huge pot. I will actually put up the equivalent in British pounds and US and Canadian dollars. The other acrylic paints I use, and these are my favourites, they're better quality. These are great for more fine work. They do last, they spread a long way. They're a lot thicker. I don't know if you can actually see the texture. I don't want to squeeze it too hard, otherwise I'll end up wasting it. Let's see, can I? The brush is not a very good brush, but as you can see, it's a bit thicker and it doesn't run. Now these ones are Montmartre paints. Now I don't know if these are available in shops overseas. They are an Australian company. They do have an online shop, which I will pop a link in down below somewhere for you. You can have a look if you can't get it. When I was in Canada and the US with my granddaughter back in 2019-2020, we went for Christmas. In a craft shop or an art shop, I think it was, in New York, they had Liquitex paint. Louise knew I'd been looking for a skin tone flesh coloured paint. I've tried using pink and mixing it with white. I've tried using sort of like a beige and mixing it with white. They don't work. I couldn't get that exact skin tone that I needed. And I got gnomes and figurines and all sorts that I wanted to paint and make them look natural. So I bought the Liquitex, and because I didn't think I'd get it again ever anywhere, I bought 2 tubes, thinking, well, I've got a lot of gnomes, I've got a lot of figurines, 2 tubes should last me. I can't believe how many I have done, and I'm not even halfway through the first tube yet, so that's going to last me for everything that I need to do. Anyway, the white, as you can see, it's the same. Got to squeeze it to get to the paint. It doesn't run out. And I'll use the clear side of the plate so you can see. My brush is a bit dry, but yeah, it doesn't run. So they're good quality. Now these ones, I can't remember when I last bought a tube. The last tube I bought was $4.50. Now there's a difference because these are the original tubes that they brought the paint out in, and this one I've had for I don't know how long. I don't think they put a date on the back of the label, but these are now the new tubes. I must admit I prefer the old one because I can actually see what colour I'm getting. This one, all you get is a little label on the front here that tells you this is Chinese white, and they're $4.50 a tube. I'll put that price up or down over to the side somewhere, just so you can see the difference in the prices between Australian dollar, the UK pound, and the Canadian and Australian US dollar. Although, having said that, whatever price I put up today, it could change tomorrow with the exchange rate. Now once you've finished painting with acrylic, as you know, is water based, everything washes out in water, so you go and put your project out in the garden, the first rain, all your paint's washed away. A lot of hard work gone for the sake of a bit of rain. So I spray all my projects, whether they're outdoors in the rain or underneath under the patio. You can see I've got pots under the patio, they've all been sprayed with this clear sealer. This one's a gloss. White Knight don't do a satin finish, but Dulux spray cans do a satin, which I think it just gives it that little bit of a sheen without it looking matte flat paint. A little bit of a sheen on it looks nice. What you have to make sure of is that the paint tin has on it somewhere non-yellowing formula. Now this one's got it in a nice big black box, but I've noticed on the Dulux one you've got to go and find it somewhere in all this fine print. So make sure it's non-yellowing formula. And yeah, I think this can cost me something like $12. I'll check the price on that for you in all the other currencies. And that was my swan. It was quick, it was easy. The acrylic paints, of course, only take a couple of hours to dry. So once you've finished one coat, you can get the whole job done in one day. And this is the finished product. So that's the end of my first project. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've learned a little bit. I just sort of pop back in. I ended that video. I didn't actually end it right. I cut off the ending that I originally put on there, and I didn't give myself enough time to explain that what I'd like to do is use the spinning wheel, like a chocolate wheel, to say what are we going to do next week. We're going to give it a go today. I'd like some feedback. Do you think this is something that you would like to see? Is it something that would make you want to come back to see what we're going to do the following week? I'd like some feedback on it, so if you just leave your comments down below, I'd really appreciate it. And now we're going to spin the wheel to see what are we going to be doing next week in our video. Let's spin the wheel and see. We're going to be creating something. If you have a pool, this might be something that you will find very handy, especially in winter. Bye for now.